All right. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, I was running back from grabbing coffee. Oops, hold on. Elements. Everything wants me to sign back in today. It's one of those days. Let's see. Let's see. Neuro. There we go. All right. So, welcome to Wednesday, 6/8. Um, mm, super warm coffee. All right. So, kind of a, I don't want to say mixed morning, but news-wise, obviously not a whole lot going on. Gotten some mixed data from Europe, some French trade balances, retail sales, things like that aren't great. Employment data doesn't look bad. Sound is good, maybe a little bit low. Hmm. I think it's your volume because it's in the same yellow range that I normally try to keep it in, the 20 to 15 area. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I was just not talking loud. I don't know. Maybe I was whispering. Although I feel when I whispered, it was still pretty high. I don't know. Let me know. I can try to adjust it if you want. I don't know, Neuro. Maybe you're just getting old. Maybe your hearing's going with that advanced age. Yeah, that too. That too. Right? I mean, it could be, right? Allegedly that kind of stuff is bad for you. Yeah, right? Allegedly. um, yeah, could be. All right, so with that said, so yeah, some mixed data. I mean, obviously the big movers out there. We've talked about it during Todd's person, the show with Todd, um, is obviously Japan. We're seeing a massive amount of weakness come in there. Nothing really kind of new that we necessarily heard. But at 132 people are complaining. 135 is the magic number. We're getting really, really close to 135. So I'm actually curious to see if we will have some type of a bank intervention from Japan. Like I said, Japan has no problems doing it. They've done it a million times in the past. Typically, they do it when it's too strong, right? Obviously, that's the exact opposite case. But I would say, being too strong, yeah, it requires more effort for them. That all they have to do is raise interest rates just a little tiny bit, and that really kind of brings some strength into about why you would want the yen. Um, so you know, I don't know. I think of the two different types of interventions you could have, I think the easiest one is literally just raising just even if they just raised it point 0.1, it's it's significant. It's not really this is like the perception and reality of it. The reality of it is it's really not that much. It doesn't really change that much out there. But the fact that they took that step and changed from the ultra low, just to control it, um, you know, people aren't happy about it there, but I mean they're saying that hey, listen, we're going to maintain this 2%, this 2% target. But eventually things get too cheap and things get too expensive because it is an island. They do have to bring things in. They are predominantly an export nation, but there are certain things, obviously, being an island-based nation, that they need to import. I mean, they're not a huge nation, right? Um, so it does eventually cause problems. So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if they do something or there's some type of pullback on that one. I think it's just the perfect storm for it to be weak. And once they threw that 135 number out there, I really feel like for traders, this was like a hold my beer type scenario, right? It's like 135, gotcha. So we'll see. Headline wise, not really much, right? Love to say that. Hey, listen, there's some awesome headlines of Detroit. Not really. Oil is the biggest news for this morning that we really need to worry about coming in at 10:30. The API report last night actually showed that we had a surplus for once, although gas prices, are continuing to go higher. I mentioned that MSNBC article, or not article, but it was what's it called? Not an article. Um, the, An interview. There you go. An interview. God, it's one of those mornings. Um, you know, the interview. Guy basically was like, "Hey, I just know that gas prices are over double what they were from the last president. So yeah, my vote has already been made up." And they're like, "For president in a few years, and what about for the Senate later on?" He goes, "It's made up." And then the news reporter was like, "Wow." So I mean, it was pretty clear that this guy was like, So yeah, I mean, we know that people vote with their wallets, and obviously there's more reason to do it now than really any. So we'll see. I really feel like um, I feel like there's going to be some headlines. I feel like there's going to be more change. Like I said, love the idea that Biden is putting all this effort in trying to go solar. I think absolutely. I'm in 100% agreement with it. I think it's awesome. Obviously, there's a startup cost. If I could get panels on my house, I would. Unfortunately, we live back in the woods, and there's no. I mean, the level of direct sunlight is very, very low. And they're like, we can cut down trees. I'm like, no, cutting down trees is kind of the exact opposite of what I'm trying to do. As well as we're like in a watershed area, so I don't want to cut trees down. But if I could have them, I would. If I live like, heck, if I was where Sean lived, I think Sean lives in the woods too, but like Michigan, something like that. Like my old in-laws lived up in Northport, Michigan. I was like, man, if I could have like one of those mini windmills, I would absolutely do it. Right? If I could get free utilities, I would love it. I'd be all for it. Right? If I could eliminate those bills, totally for it. I mean, if I could, I mean, I guess it's kind of one of those things. Like the internet, if you're on the internet, you're technically on the grid. I get it; it's Wi-Fi. You're not actually connected to things. It's not the grid, and like yeah, obviously there's satellites and things like that. Like I feel like if you have internet, even if you're living in like one of these tiny homes, I feel like you're still on the grid. But if I could literally move out to like I don't know, 20 acres, have solar panels on the top of my house and two of those windmills in my front yard, and all I had was an internet and then like a well water, and all I had was I'd be totally in for that. It would be great. I'd put a fence around it, tell people don't come visit, right? I got everything I need with the internet. Amazon can deliver everything I need, right? I'd be totally for that. So, yeah, it's my whole stance on it. I'm not one of these people that are like, yeah, you know what? I want to get 200 acres and I want to get cattle. That sounds too much like a job for me. Yeah, I don't want that. But if I could have like a couple windmills outside and some solar panels on the roof, you know, I'm in. I'm in. I could go for that. But crude oil, I think, is going to be the big one of the morning. We really got nothing else in here. I am curious to see this U.S. and it's funny. U.S. dollar nominated trade balance. China, they're starting to kind of accelerate again, right? They're seeing their trade balance. Again, export, export, export. Again, our tariffs, we haven't removed them, and yet it's supposed to be hurting them. And guess what? It's not hurting them. So the fact that we're lifting them and they're getting more, we're losing that battle on the economic front also. So yeah, that's kind of our big one. And then tomorrow morning early, don't forget 7:45 main rate financing rate policy rate and the press conference. Unemployment claims too. Again, they're holding right now at 200. I don't think it's going to be too far off, but we'll say yep. They're doing solar plans. Pay what is it? Pay later up here for homeowners. Yeah, we had a couple years ago. They did that here, where it's like, oh, it'll be for free, and you can do these extended payment plans. And they did it here for a while ago. And and what they said though, Sean, was it was going to take like 15 to 20 years to recap the cost or whatever. I just felt like when they did it here, the technology was not quite there yet, right? I feel like in the last 10 years, solar has gone a lot farther. I feel like they can do more with solar now. Um, like I even looked into. Remember when Tesla was going to do the roof, the roof panels, and they still may have it. I mean, they still have the Tesla house batteries, but when they were doing the roof panels, I was like, I wonder what the cost difference is because I had to, I had to repair the roof eventually here. I was even looking at that because it's, if it's anything, is it worth it? Does it increase the value of home? Like, all these things. So I've been looking into that, but they did the same thing here where it would be free for you, right? Free to upgrade or potentially free to upgrade. But like I said, I have a friend of mine that did it, and I just felt like, 10 to 15 years to recoup the cost. And it's like, yeah, in 5 years, the solar panels are going to be a million times better, hopefully. So that was my thinking anyway. I don't think they're a million times better, but I do think they are better. They're more efficient, but they're still not great. So anyway, that's where we're standing with kind of the news. And like I said, there's nothing in here. I mean, I have it, latest stories. Even if I click refresh, there's not a whole lot here. Yeah, yeah. I mean, GDP up in the euro, and that's it. The weakest rise in residential work for 2 years. Actually, let me see this one real quick. I was UK. Yeah, so not a whole lot. I mean, it's just yen, 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 and that's it. So again, not a lot. There's nothing free here on Earth. Yeah, you're probably right there, Ernest. But I will say, our neighborhood. So I live in like it's considered like a special community because it was originally it's all custom homes. It's not like a developer built our area. They were all just custom built homes, and I don't have a big house. Like I'm not one of those people for like I need 25 acres and 9,000 square feet. Like I don't have anything like that. So I like it's kind of like a cool like every home in my neighborhood is like a custom built. So they're all different. Um, and I will say, I do like the fact of having a well. They tried to put public water in, and then they were like, okay, it's going to cost each homeowner $19,000. I was like, nope, I like my free water. Like I didn't pay to put the well in; it came with the house, right? I like my free water. I'm like, if I have to redo a well, what's it going to cost me? They're like, probably like $2,000. I'm like, and you want me to pay $19,000 so I can have a water bill every month? No, no, uh-uh, uh-uh. Um, so yeah, it was kind of funny. I was like, they're like, what? You don't want to be better for the environment? I'm like, but it's not much better. Like Baltimore just had this, like our two sewage plants in Baltimore broke and dumped all this raw sewage right into the water. I'm like, why would I? You want me to send it to Baltimore so they can dump it? Like, no, no, I don't want to pay like $19,000 for you to put a pipe that runs down to my house, so then I can have a water bill every single month. I'm like, that sounds like insanity. Sorry. So, yeah. So I do get free water. Ernest. I didn't put the well in, but it's almost free. It's almost free. All right, so let's dive into charts. So starting off, VIX is a little bit higher right now. Again, there's not a whole lot of news. It has the ability to go down. We'll see. Dollar. You look at this chart. What's the 15-minute? You look at this chart, like, oh my God, dollar's down on the day. It's down a little tiny bit from where it closed yesterday. Not moving a ton. Like I said, I think the dollar is going to pre-position itself for Friday. Wouldn't be surprised if it drives down in an effort to go higher. But for the most part, I mean, if we kind of suck this back in, we're still in the same channel. This 102.80 and this 101 kind of 50ish level seems to be the top and the bottom. And again, if you want to do just the curve on where we are standing right now, again, I don't mention the curve all the time. But talking about the curve, that top 30%, we're looking to short. We're in that top area. So it is kind of more of we're kind of looking for short areas for the most part. Look at that. Oil's right at 120 dead. Right on the dot. 120, up 0.5%, right? Up 0.5%. Oh, look at that. It's getting cheap. 119.96. So that's kind of what we're dealing with right now with the dollar. The Aussie again, coming back and forth. And we talked about a potential level there. Harder level because, again, what did it do? It did spike back and forth, right? It ended up going to the 61.8. Again, because of the clear, it is a little bit difficult. And you can see we got front run on the 50, banged into that zone again, came back up, went below it, came back up and used that zone for a drop back down again. Right now, I would say I kind of like how this formation occurred up here, and there's a little bit of a test. So, it hasn't hit the 678, but we're gonna move this. I'm actually gonna adjust this old level just so I don't have to draw new things, and kind of put this right here, and talk about this level. It is a 60. It is a 61.8. Technically, it's already been blown through one time, so this is kind of a new level formation at a 61.8 with that new spike there, and it was confirmed that it tried, and finally peaked, and then bam, it was like a hammer nailed that to the downside. So kind of liking that one. Um, does this coincide with what we have for this week? Is this going to hold for the next 2 days? I don't know. I'm going to say probably not. Um, it is in rather close proximity, right? It's 18 pips. So is it going to stay in that range for the next 2 days? Probably not. Um, do we have another trade in there? Probably. I kind of, like I said, I like the test. I like the base. I love the fact that it's 61.8. All these things are kind of throwing another chip into the pie of whether it's good or not. And again, would that be a reversal from today? I would say yes. Here's the European session open at 3 o'clock, was right here. So again, it was continuing its fall. It based right at that 330, and then again, European session up. So we are kind of looking for some type of a reversal in the dollar. And again, gold being flat, this is not driving because of gold. So for me, I'd say, this is probably a decent trade here to there, and bring this down to right around that level. So not a bad setup, right? Risk of about 7 pips, a rather small trade. So I think there, could be some opportunity in this one. Hold on one sec. Okay, sorry. There's a pop-up. I was just making sure Melissa wasn't trying to message me again. Kip is teething again. So for all the mothers out there, you know how fun and exciting it is when children are teething. Yeah. Melissa messaged this morning and said he's trying to murder me. So I was like, oh God, is she messaging me? Yeah, but anyway, 72.34, right and a half. I think that's a decent level. We can get up there at 10.30. Again, it's only 18 pips. I think that could be a potential roll for today. Aussie yen, obviously Aussie yen continuing to go higher. We talked about the 95. It hit it and pulled back down again, doing some basing sideways, and again, it is rallying back up. Right now, again, with the yen, I'm kind of waiting for the yen to kind of give us like a confirmed top. We don't have one, and I mentioned this yesterday. I mean, it did hit that level. It held and then forced it back down and then came back up and started the base in it. So we expected this one to break. Let's drop it up to a 4-hour and see. Really, God, how long has it been? Looks like we're gonna have to go to a daily. There we go. Yeah, so it was a daily. With it breaking through that level, kind of like that look right there. This looks a little harder, but I wouldn't be surprised if. Actually, you know what? Why don't I just take this up here? I may be able to see this one. Actually, that's where we're at right now. That's where we're at right now. So, um, I wish we could see a little bit more about these two. When is that? Yeah, it's 2015. I really don't think we can see far enough back. Nope. Yeah. Oh well. It would have been nice. Anyway, that's where we're at right now. So again, larger time frame zone. We can't dial it in. It's a long ways back there. So yeah, I would say right now be very cautious with the Aussie yen. I do think Friday though, with all this yen weakness, if we see that big CPI number, I think that has the potential to kind of drive the gold down and drive the Aussie down. So kind of looking for this one news trade later on in the week. Again, that next level up there is about 109 pips away. It is basically an ATR and a half before we're basically a day or 2 days from getting up there. Like I said, we will see some profit taking and pull back on this one. If we can get some type of a confirmed basing at 97.91, and again, I am kind of more getting short. I'm thinking short for. I'm thinking more short for the CPI release. I think we have some potential for some be able to take some type of a trade here. But nothing that I'm really in love with right now on it. Euro pound. So Euro pound. We talked about a rally back up again. We talked about 85.40 being the reversal. Unfortunately, it did get blown through. It did base. It pulled back and it did go higher. It's kind of pulling. It's weird. This is not really the best of levels, but it is. It is actually a level. It is a base in there. It did kind of give us, and again, that could have been easily a green candle. That's kind of what it rolled off of on this one. Um, I just think the fact that we get true data on when the raise is coming in are real, it was very, very hard. And we did expect it. We were just looking for the reversal here. We ended up not getting it, unfortunately. So this zone is out right now. And again, after this rally up, I was really looking for a short in there. And it just, the way that the candles pulled up and we're maintaining around 61.8, there's definitely some people that got stopped out on this trade as this one continued to go bounce back and forth. And again, small level, it's there. You can see it. I mean, if you want me to drop it to a 15 so you can actually see the green, yeah, there's the green. Actually, if you shorten it from there, it's there, right? So trade's already in if you were long. I'm short. Sorry, short. It is pulling back. For me, next time I'm looking for shorts, and this one is really up top. I think again, it was a nice little touch, and that would be 85.82. We can actually throw an alert on this one because, again, I think if we can get up there, I think that's probably decent. Add this, and we're gonna do. Let's see. Distal supply reversal. Okay, on that one. So 85.84. And again, nice little rally up. I would say if you're looking for a Harry Potter type play in there is a little bit of a base right here. So if you are looking for something and we do start to come down and start to base in here, that's a nice little racetrack trade. So a break below 85.45 could be a nice little runner all the way back down to the downside. So, again, bring us back down to the 85. 85 is, let's mark this one. Let's see. Let's double click on this bad boy. Let's put coordinates. Let's put this one right at 85. Text. 0.8500. Put that in the black. Put that a little bit higher. There we go. So, inside of your shorts, again, any shorts you want to do, you want to make sure your profit is taken before there. So, another short little trade set up there. We'll draw this one on here too, if you guys. 1 to 3 is right there. So you can see the true race of this one, or the true run of this one on that racetrack is 1 to 7.6. So quite a large one. But there's your 1 to 3. Again, that's why it turned. So, all right, Euro Yen. So Euro Yen continuing to rally. It does look like it's starting to run out of steam. Again, European session is ending. Would not be surprised. And again, this one we know we have a larger daily zone up top, but this one's got 228 pips for that one. So kind of with a base forming right now, you can see that it is chopping back and forth and it is getting slow. Their market's almost end. Unfortunately, it is kind of like a 29 pip zone on that one. But if we start getting a base formed up here, right, there could be an argument made that, hey, if we start to see a pullback, there could potentially be, I'm going to say potentially because it's not formed yet, there could potentially be an area here where we pull back down again, find some buyers, and then come up, and we have a failure to go higher type scenario, and then we take this long. I'm sorry, we take this short. So it's kind of setting up that way. We're not there yet. So before anybody tomorrow, like if it goes higher, if somebody says, you're wrong, it's not there yet. We're still looking for this kind of confirmation, kind of, basically, I don't want to call it a color change, but for lack of a better word, we're looking for a color change, right? We're looking for a red, a green that doesn't go as high, doesn't breach a new top, and then a red close below is what we're looking for. So, do we have a color change icon? I feel like maybe I should have a color change icon. Kind of this, right? Right? Can I change the color of that? Yeah, it's a shame I can't do two, but yeah, kind of a color change on top right there, right? Again, that's obviously the candle's in the wrong direction, but can I flip this? I don't think I can flip it. Can I reverse it? Can I do anything to it? There we go. Something along those lines. Still kind of backwards, but it's a valid attempt. It's like, wait, can I make it exactly what I'm looking for? I mean, there would be a green one, but I need to reverse it. Like, I need to can I go the other way? No, it just makes it bigger. Oh well. Anyway, you guys get what I'm trying to say. A red, green, red color change at the top. Look for that to roll back to the downside. I think it's set up there. And again, so much yen weakness. We're probably due for yen strength coming in for a little bit. All right. Hold on one sec. Okay, sorry. Sorry. She was sending me another message, and I was like, oh, God. She's sending a lot of messages today. So, euro dollar. Again, nice little pushback. We were looking for this level, the 6.18. It did hit it and then pulled back and then kind of drove in again. It opened, it hit here, drove, and then came back and opened up again. And it's kind of like, all right, we're in. And then it kind of drove higher and then closed in that same level and then kind of Harry Pottered higher. So right now, not looking for any shorts on this one. We are at the 78.6, so I don't care about this anymore. And kind of gives us the same bracket, right? I think this is still, again, just kind of advancing everything across, so it kind of makes sense. Bring it to here. Actually, let's bring it all the way across here, here, here. Bring this across. Bring this across. And again, this is the same level. You can remove this black. You can pull some of these starters off. So we do have this little area right here. It was pushed pretty deep. How much do we have for that? 11. That could be a reversal level there, like a little 1030 thing in there. I think this Harry Potter long is out. Let's see. Nope, not yet. So close. Look at that. So close. Actually, let me actually put it on the zone. Close. Oh yeah, it's out. 1, 2, 3. Well, it's above right there, but right there. All right, so that's out already. Yeah, I would say for anybody that wants to be really aggressive, I think 107.56. If you can time that with like a 1030 reversal, I think that's probably decent in there, right? But overall, we're looking for this to go much higher. We do have the 50% retracement from way back there. Again, it's kind of a bigger level, and this is kind of a smaller time reversal level. But I think 107.75, again, a little psychological. I think there could be a trade in there, right? Could be. Is it the best one? No, no. But I think it's on a small intraday basis. I think there's something in there to be said, particularly with us rallying up pretty much from 3 o'clock on right here. So, pound yen. So pound yen, it's having a lot of struggle with this zone. As you can see, it hit the first one, based in it, base, spent like 3 hours here, and then finally blew through it, kind of hit it and pulled back, came up in base, and now it has 3 consecutive candles with lower highs in it. So it is struggling to go any higher. Again, I still think, although I think yen weakness is coming back into the market, I think it's very dangerous right now to be trying to short this pair. Could it blow down another 300 pips to the downside? Sure, it could. Is it is it the best trade out there? Not really. I'm very hesitant until we get up to 170. I think we do hit 170 by the end of the week. Again, it's It's within 120 pips. So I mean, we are we're right there. It's not that far away really. So yeah, do what you want with it. But again, these were the two levels we talked about yesterday. Both of them put up a big fight. Big fight here, big fight here. We can remove them now just so we can kind of keep it clear. The second one we'll leave on, right? Both times when it hit, it did pull back at least 1 to 1. So it had just been trying to pick a top on that one. Fine. But I think we are so close right now. 70 is such a big number. Um, I think this one continues to go higher. Even if we do get some yen strength, I think it will just temper it down here. Boris made it through his party gate. Injured supposedly, but he made it through Partygate. And again, the pound was kind of cool with that, so it worked for them. Pound dollar again, not necessarily trending. This one is 0.29 in 24 hours. This one has moved 26, so 1 pip an hour. Again, we've kind of marked the tops and bottom of this one at this point, but even right now, if we take this overall channel that we kind of marked off, as you can see right now, it's kind of adjusted almost into kind of a smaller level, right? Kind of into this range right here. So it's getting smaller and smaller, smaller and smaller. So um, I'd say right now, I kind of like, and again, this was the profit target we talked about yesterday. Again, bounce right off the open here. Whoops, I'll leave that on there. Whoops, what did I do? There we go. Let's see. I bet you that was a 50. Yeah, it was a 50. Kind of like this run up. 50 obviously was a big turning point right there. 5 o'clock in the morning, obviously psychological level. It did pull back up. It's this little zone right here. I don't love it, 68, but I think it's gonna have an issue with that one. Kind of want this one. I kind of want to cheer this one on. 1, 2, 3. Got this up here. So here's the problem with this one. We got a lot of sellers, and we got sellers here, sellers here, sellers here, sellers. I mean, there's a lot of build up in here. Okay, we really kind of need to break through those to get all the way up top. Again, I do think that this has the potential for a short on Friday. Right now, it's really lining up in the opposite direction, kind of setting us up more for kind of a failure at this point. The 50 was a decent trade. Hmm. I just don't like that candle. I was gonna say like, yeah, fib traders are trying to sell the heck out of this one right now. Fib traders are like, oh god, look at this. It's at the 50. It's trying. It's there. There's a zone there, right? Where's the euro? Yeah, I may have to say that's a short. Because look, we have the dollar right now in a position to go long, right? Aussie dollar, yeah, it's at a level. It's not quite where we wanted it, but there is obviously selling coming there with that large candle. Your dollar's driven up, right? And is it ready to reverse? I mean, it is. Yeah, there is selling here. I mean, here is the top. It's a one candle base top. It's not as far as we like it, but it technically is an area where we could see reversal. And the pound, kind of the same thing. Pound thinking not so much. I mean, there is a level. If we go on the 15 minute, you guys will see it. Actually, it's not as clean, right? Not a clean level, but you can see it as well as you're going to have people that are looking at this fib wise, right? You're going to have people looking at this saying, "Oh, look at that! It's right at the 50. I need to short it." Yeah, it's already happened once and kind of came down, so they're going to be looking at it. So yeah, it did technically go higher, but it looks like there's a potential short happening right now inside of the pound. So, how big of a zone is this? Only 11 pips. So it's kind of high right now. Let me see. See if there's anything cheap. Maybe there's some type of cheapy play in here. What's that, guys? I need something close. I would say that they're There is actually a knockout that is quite cheap on that one, right? It was just $15 a second ago. Now it's 17. If you like this level, I mean, we're always looking for kind of short positions, right? Taking something small with again, ideally $15 to $18 worth of risk. It's 18 right now. It keeps kind of cycling back and forth on us. But again, talking about an 11 pip stop loss on here, you'd be at 11 plus 1.5 2 spread anyway. You're talking about what 13, and it's $16 at risk over there. It's kind of set up. If you're wrong, it matches up with the knockout as well. It takes you out at 125.68. 128, 125.62. So 168 gives you a little bit more breathing room on that one, kind of puts you up to there, kind of extends it to kind of where price is right now. It would look something along those lines. So yeah, is it a little bit more risk? Sure. Is it above the 61.8? Sure. Right? Not necessarily a horrible position, right? So yeah, not not terribly bad. Right? Not terribly bad. And it is like the 1030 reversal, so I was wondering if there would be something cheap in there. All right, so again, a lot of different things out there. I could see it kind of turning and rolling, so we'll see how it turns out. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD, I mentioned yesterday, really 125 is where we're looking forward to dropping base. It kind of went up a little bit, kind of went down a little bit, kind of driving down right now. Again, oil's at 119.75. It's pulling back a little bit, so I wouldn't be surprised with everything else we're seeing if this does find some type of a bottom here. Um, It's all right. Like I said, 125 is where I'd like to see the turn. They're all looking like they need to go just a little bit farther. Right, the euro yen needs to go a little bit farther. The Aussie yen needs to go a little bit farther. The pound yen needs to go a little bit farther. Although the pound yen is the one that's kind of the most in his zone right now. Um, I like this coming back down to the note 25. I think once we get the base, I think the CPI data will help drive this higher. And I think there's two factors. One, obviously, oil at 120 is not what the government wants right now. They have to talk about what's the next step. Like you mentioned solar, but solar is not going to help the problem right now for the next year and a half, 2 years. Investment in solar does not lower gas prices next week. Um, they're going to have to do something else. Whatever the next thing is, they should be trying to weaken oil at the same time raising interest rates. Those are two positive events for the CAD. I think both those are you know potential areas where we could get something out of it. So wait for this one to continue to go lower, then look to reverse it. And again, I do think if either of those two announcements come, whether today or Friday, I do think I'm trying to get long dollar CAD, but I don't have a setup for it right now. Dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss, we talked about a breakthrough. Um, Again, it was an area that people were able to grab. We did not get our entry yet. It popped and came through and popping it through. So there's no entry on there yet. So this trade is still live. We're still waiting for this to break through, base, pull back, and then go. So again, no entry on this Harry Potter based trade. Did I move this? Sometimes the mouse is off a little bit. That's 1 to 3.6. 1 to 3 is right there. So yeah, don't have it yet. So again, this one is still active. Remember, for any type of Harry Potter continuation trade, we need a breakthrough, a base, and then a pullback, and then kind of a long on it. All right, pound yen. So pound yen, I mentioned earlier. Again, we're at one. We actually came up and we touched 134.50. Once we're up in that range, we are within 50, 50 points of or 50 pips of being hit that 135. That's technically when all the problems are coming in. I would say we're kind of in the danger zone. It has pulled back a little bit, which again, I'm sure the central bank is looking at that and saying, you know what, it's pulling back a little bit. Maybe we don't need to pull the trigger just yet. Right? We're close, but we don't need to pull it just yet. I think they're really really close to having to just pull that trigger. Right? I think I think it's there. I think we're really close. I think the next time we spike through, I do think they pull the trigger. They do make an announcement. They do say something. Once we hit that 135 number, because that was the one they said, yes, now it is actually causing a problem. So once it's officially a problem, again, they'll do something about it because they like it low for right now. But I will say, I know two different people over in Japan, and both people at 132 were like, "Oh my god, how are we going to survive? This is horrible." They were pretty upset about it. So, um, yeah, they were not the most happy people about it. All right. So, Bitcoin, you're seeing kind of rallying back again. There was a trade yesterday for it. Again, came back up. This is just a technical. This is kind of more technical lesson. As it came up, it based, and again, nice push off of it. It came back up yesterday and touched it. We talked about where the profit target should be, and it did. It came down and tagged the profit target and came right back up again. So no different than any other chart that we would look at. The way that it's set up on a technical basis. Um, Ethereum did the same exact thing. Came back up 50% level. It was sitting right here. Came back up. It touched it yesterday. Touched it again. Drove all the way back down. Went a little bit deeper than where, again, we want to make sure we're out on a profit target. But again, a simple one if you guys were trading Ethereum right there. And again, most of you are not trading them yet, but yeah, they're there. Dogecoin also down, but again, pretty ugly chart. Let's see. Bonds, kind of flat, right? Went higher yesterday because it was risk off. And then again, right now, it's kind of like, not sure what you're doing. Commodities. All right, so oil's pulling back a little bit. Now, again, it was peaking over. We went up to what, 120, 140. Right now, it's still technically in the green, but you look at this like, oh, it's all this destruction. Yeah, a little bit of destruction here. And again, this is what it's looking like. Again, is it getting ready for a pop? Again, drawing this, we'll just put this right here that we're pulling into it right now. We will come back to this one. 1011 is a little bit early for it. But looking on a 5-minute basis, we can say, hey, listen, there's some selling and some basing right there. And again, if you take the overnight kind of low to high, you can see that this zone on its distal side is sitting right around the 50% retracement. So it is a level where buyers have come in, and whenever we see this, particularly in a 5-minute, if it comes down here and starts to stall, then we go higher. Crypto emails have slowed down drastically. Yeah, they have, absolutely, right. And again, I think, Ernest, honestly, my belief on that one is it's the calm before the storm. Um, Remember, now that it's like who's going to regulate it, um, they're going to start looking at every single one of those ads for information that could have been misleading or that could be questionable. Um, so now that they're starting to like, hey, what do the guidelines look like? They're going back to all the marketing companies and saying, okay, this is what we can say, this is what we can't say. Because again, if you're the guy that has the sleaziest ads when the regulation comes, you're the first one with a target that they're going to make an example of. That they're like, we're serious, you know, we're serious this time. Don't mess us up. Yeah, I mean, Musk has got his own problems, but here's the thing: if it's an unregulated market, which it is, he can say whatever the heck he wants, right? Until it's actually regulated by a market. And this is the thing that I don't understand. People are like, no, we don't want, it's, they're like, no, we want something that they can't control, right? You want a guy that will pump and dump left and right to make billions of dollars for himself and screw you over? Sure. Okay, great. you know, and that's not what the actual crypto companies want. They want actual regulations so it can be considered a legitimate product that people can trade and put their money. Now, I'll tell you right now, if we do go into recession, I saw there was an article yesterday about Generation Z or whatever we're in right now. This is the first financial crisis that they've had to deal with. And it would be, they said that it would be very interesting to see how they handle their first financial crisis. Um, you know, because again, they haven't dealt with anything like this before. Everybody will, but this is their first one. Like, if their assets start getting drained and this goes down, like, what are they going to do? Like, does Gen Z try to move back in with mom and dad? Right? It's kind of the next step. So we'll see. Natural gas. So yeah, natural gas is up 2.5% again. Let me get this off. I can't. The 5-minute thing will drive me crazy. So still in the same level. We're still basing. It keeps probing. It was a one that was a little bit lower, but again, we did just push back over 957. As I said, this was one day's worth of craziness. Again, we're probably what half that would be here. So let me draw another line and talk about half of a day worth of crazy. Half of a day worth of crazy right now. There's our 10. So I'm still going to stand by what I said. I think we hit $10 by the end of the week. I'm not happy about the $10 by the end of the week. So, yeah. Speaking of that, it is Wednesday today. I was supposed to get a gas delivery yesterday, and I don't see my receipt. Need to check that man. Like, yeah, I'm gonna tell him like, hey, it's up 2.9% today. Where was my gas when it was down here cheap? That's what I ordered. I ordered propane, not natural gas. So, but yeah. My uncle is actually. I don't know if I ever told you guys this. My uncle's a contractor, right? It was a question that I had for him last time he was down. I was like, "Hey, are people?" Because my mom redid our kitchen. I'm like, "Are people still putting natural gas in with it this high?" right? And actually, one of the parents on the lacrosse team says that they actually just took a gas stove out and put an electric in their house. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, it's not coming back down. I was like, it'll come back down, but yeah, he just removed because I don't know. As contractors, people are like, I want this stove out. I don't like this stove, and it doesn't match anything, right? This is rich people for you. I don't like this stove. He's like, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, but I don't like it. Just do. I don't. Just throw it out. So he's like, yeah, I get upgraded appliances when my clients don't want the refrigerators and stuff. They have like 2-year old refrigerators. They're like, you know what? I don't like it. It doesn't match anything. I'm just gonna get another one. And they don't sell it. It's too much of a bother for them. So he's like, yeah, I get new appliances all the time. Or not like new, but new appliances in my house. Used appliances, but new stuff. He's like, I just keep upgrading that way. So, um, gold. So gold bouncing back and forth. We already know that 50 is a popular level. Technically, it's been broken. There's a level there, and again, this is a little bit of a crazy spike. I think gold was going to rally up. This is what I mentioned earlier about yes, we do have a Harry Potter trading here. We do not have an entry. Again, no entry here, no entry here, no entry here, no entry here. It actually didn't breach the bottom. I'm waiting for it to come in. The first one worked just fine. The Harry Potter here, and again, we're waiting for it, looking for a potential second opportunity. Now we are up to 50. We do have a level sitting right there. We've hit it a few times. This has hit 1, 2, and hit number 3. So not an original hit. It has technically burst out the top. I'm okay with this. Like I said, I think we go short gold Friday morning before CPI. I'm hoping that Nadex doesn't completely jack this one around. Um, like I feel like they can completely mess this one up, but I'm taking my gas stove out. Oh, there we go, Ernest. See, so you're doing it. Honestly, Ernest, I hate to say it, but it's one of those things that I don't think you'll be the only person that does it, um, and it makes sense. I mean, I don't know. And Ernest, to save $5. Hey, Ernest. Hey, you know what the sad thing is? It doesn't even get you a gallon of gas where you live, right? Doesn't even get you a gallon of gas, my friend. So yeah, it's not even gonna help you get some meat. But my way, and my looking at it like this, Ernest. I'm all for the renewables. If I could have a windmill or a solar panel that could cook all my food, why would I not want to do that? Right? Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm like anti-capitalism or something. I don't know. Right? Maybe I'm anti-capitalism. Maybe I'm like, I want to pay no utility bills because those greedy people, right? I've been spoiled by monopoly, right? Utilities companies, like who owns the utilities companies? It's all the old rich people, right? The old, the Rockefellers, yeah, like got rich from railroads, right? Like I look at it that way. It's like, you know what? If I can use some technology, I can slap an ugly solar panel on the top of my house and I can cook all my food with it where I don't have to pay for a gas bill. I'm in for that. Yeah, that's me. It's entrepreneurial spirit. I'm telling you right there. I don't have to pay for something. Right, it's just overreacting. No way. I'm taking my gas stove out. Yeah, Ernest, if you cook, that's the problem, right? If you cook, it sounds like a great proposition until you're like, wait a second, I gotta cooking with electric is such a pain. It's so bad. Yeah, it's hard. But if you're not a cook, you're like, I'm not paying for gas. So, anyway, silver fluctuating back and forth. As I said, I think this level up top, the top to bottom drop. Again, it was a 61.8, and then we're kind of coming back down and now bouncing, and this is a new level in here. I think again, silver. I'm cool with silver rising up. I think silver is an area where, again, we look to go short before CPI. I think there's a potential in this one, but silver has been very, very choppy back and forth. You can see it's kind of been bouncing back. And really, right now, it looks like 2250 and really the 2180-ish level seems to be where the top and bottom of this channel is. I'll remove this just to kind of keep it clean. But really, I'd say kind of this level right here. This has been a zone right here. And you can see touch. It's had a hard time going through that. So, 2180. We mentioned it earlier in the week, but I think 2180 is one of those levels where you look at that and you say, you know, if we can drive and be in that level, could that be an area to go long with a disappointing CPI number? Sure. I mean, that's definitely a possibility as well. But right now, again, I think the two levels that you'd be looking for shorts for the silver, if you want to, if you're looking for a short in this one, would be 2219. And I would say up top here, probably at, oh, God, that's so ugly. Hold on. White. That's what happens when you misclick, right? Actually, you know what? I should, that's fine. Those would be the two levels if you're looking for short, but again, I'd be a little cautious with it. All right, let's jump into indices real quick. Actually, let's see what our buddy Oil's doing. Oil's looking like it's trying to base. Looking like it's trying to base. It's trying. Trying. It has hit this level a few times, but it's trying. So we don't have the stabilization yet. Oop, not the 1 second. It's trying. You're not taking it out because I'm stealing it. I need a new one. There you go. Nero, if you steal that man's gas stove, I feel like he does live in Texas. All right. I do believe that is a concealed carry state. I do feel that Ernest would shoot you before you got out the front door. Just saying. It's not a love thing, but if you mess with a man's stove, especially as much as Ernest cooks, yeah, I feel like you'll never get an opportunity to use those pip chips. Right? Yeah. Yeah. You'll have to donate your pip chips. I'm a good shot too. Yeah, but you're messing with a man from Texas, you know? I mean, what does Texas say? Go big or go home, right? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, oil again, it's starting to base there on the 1 minute. Let's go to 15. Let's check out the indices, see what we got going over here. All right. So you can see, talk about a wild ride at the open. Again, we're looking for a short when it comes low. It looks like 9:15. Again, it pierced through very, very briefly. Again, kind of that Globex high-low trap. Remember, the overnight on that one would have been kind of sitting really kind of right in this level, right? And again, it's your 3 o'clock in the morning. There's your Globex overnight low. It did. It pierced through, went right back up, and now we're kind of right back down again, right back up again. We're playing with that level. It's down 0.2. I wouldn't say that this is really anything earth-shattering. It didn't bounce off the top. It actually, it ended up grabbing the early zone. Would I say 41.61? It was 41.60. I missed it by one. So I'll just spray in the general direction of the threat. You know? Ernest is like assault weapon. I got a tank. You know those cannons from the Alamo? Try to set foot in my front yard. Anyway, so yeah, so again, kind of some bouncing back and forth. We'll see if we get that true reversal coming in. It hasn't hit yet, hasn't triggered, right? So we're still looking for this drop, and again, a run back down to 41.71. Was there a trade at the open today? Yeah, you could have said there was a long in there, but kind of a dangerous long. Yeah, it was into a level, but again, it hit, and again, kind of gave us that little spike through. I wouldn't have said on a 15-minute setup that I'd be like, "Yep, go long." And again, would it have worked? Yeah, it went 3 to 1 higher. It went up to where it should have done. So could you? Yeah. If you take it in futures, you would have got stopped out. But as far as the Nadex trade goes, you would have been fine for it. Kind of the same thing. We talked about the level of basing, and the basing is exactly the same, right? There's the basing here. We were chomping through it, and again, it already pushed lower. Actually, for the overnight low, you would have had to have gone here. So 8:45, 9:30. You could have gotten a trade on this one long, but it would have been very cautious. For me, I would not have been into this one. The reason why, and actually look at that, it ended up coming here, drop, hit, and back again. The 2070 again was a top level. So again, ping pong, right? Boom, 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 and then finally broke it, and we kind of pushed up. So at this point, I'd say look for this level up top. Let's pull this one over. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think 12,804. Again, strong push off of that one. Again, quite choppy back and forth. Everything else is red. This one is up 0.3. If this one stops and turns and rolls back down again, would you be surprised? Not really. Can it make it through the buyers down here at 12,683? I don't know. There is a little bit of a backstopping. Look at this backstop right here, right below it. Right? That's actually not a bad little level. Look at that. It's kind of a hidden level. It's still green, but look how it kind of based up and then again higher, you know, 2 wicks straight down, but pop, and then it kind of came and tested it in this candle and popped higher. This one's kind of backstopped a little bit. So does this one go crazy today? I feel like no. I mean, we'll see what oil gives us, but um, I wouldn't be surprised if we come up here and then kind of come back down again if it's just a slow moving day. YM, look at the same thing. Again, we were talking about potentially getting long from this one if it was able to come all the way down. It didn't. It ended up breaking through. And again, this is what 8:30. That's 9 o'clock. So yeah, kind of the same thinking. Again, as soon as people see the close below that level, and the boom, it popped through. And again, it's been whipsawly back and forth. Um, Again, it's down 0.36 from yesterday, but I mean, we opened We opened here. We're just slightly above, and it's done this whip down, this whip up, this whip down, and this whip back up again. And now we're hitting 1030, and the opening price is right here. I mean, the 930 candle opened here. Actually, never mind. Not 930. Yeah, 930 was here. There's the opening. So that thing got a little up since the opening, but look at this: whip, 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 whip. So just sideways movement. Now Russell's got the same whip again. Didn't get a hair potty entry. We were looking for again any type of confirmation. Again, it's backstop. There was another level right here. It ended up breaking through that one, but would you have traded this one at the open? Nah, not really. I mean, it's where it opened. 930 is here. Yeah, there's the open today. So shows that it's down huge, 0.7, but we're literally it's pulling right back to the open. So more sideways. And again, look at this. A whip down. Everybody's like, "Yep, we broke it. Go short." Boom. Okay, never mind. We broke the high. Go long. Boom. Straight back down again, and now we're rallying back up again. So there's just again very whipsaw back and forth. I'm sure there's a heck of a lot of people that lost money this morning on this, just for the simple fact that again we're literally just chopping back and forth. I mean, what do you know? Where's the trend? Right? Where's the trend right now? Is it up? Is it down? You really can't make any call on that one. Where the actual trend is. Um, whoops. Hold on one sec. Um, all right, let's switch back to oil and see what oil is doing. Let's go back down to the 1 minute. Man, why is oil not holding? It's bouncing off this level, but it's like, come on, give us the hold. Like, what are you doing? Give me the hold. Hmm. I hate when it does this. It's like, come on, oil. Why do you got to do me like this? Why can't you just hold in that zone and just freeze so we can get the easy trade? And now it's kind of doing a hold up high. It's like pulling back up. It's like, yeah, we're gonna hold. It's gonna be up here though. We're gonna hold right here. Why you got to be like this? I want to see if they updated. What was it before? Minus 2.6. Have they updated it? Nah, they're still holding minus 2.6. Um, U.S. wholesale inventories kept robust growth, and it's so funny, right? Um, Look at this. You look at this and be like, "Oh my God, wholesale inventories kept robust growth. That's awesome." But what did Target earlier this week say the problem was? Right? Target's like, our inventory is way too big. We got to slash everything. We got to start selling. We got way too much in inventory. And again, wholesale inventory is a little bit different. But who do you think buys wholesale inventories? Um, Using the rise, yeah, same month earlier last year. So I don't know if I would say that that's good. Um, Okay, Bill Gross is yeah. Okay, we're out of space when we're out of good news when we're talking about Bill Gross's glass sculptures as being the latest and hottest news. There you go. Support the yen. I'll clarify what I mean. Verbal form. Yeah, they quickly lose the impact though. Yeah. So what about an actual inventions that is Bank Japan buying yen? Yeah, yeah. So I think that's coming. All right, let's go back to oil. Man, I really wanted this thing to stabilize and stop. It's trying. It's trying. Question is that we already take a bounce. What I don't like about this right now it's already bounced twice and it's kind of stabilizing, pulling back into a little tiny zone. But I have a feeling this one's taken off. How far does it need to move? So that takes us up. It's actually only 70 cents. It's actually not that much. I know 70 cents seems like a lot, but percentage wise, it's actually not that much. Um, I really wish it would have. I really wish instead of this little pop, I wish it would have held for 5 minutes. Up, the news must have just came out. Let's see what it is. Come on, we already saw the price move. We already know that it's out. That was quite a big red candle too. Yeah, I hated how that went up and stopped. It's like, come on. Okay, so surplus. It was a decent surplus, right? That was a decent surplus number, right? Again, is it as bad as the this? It was supposed to be 1.8 and came in at 1. So I would say that it's actually pretty close, right? Um, -2. So yeah, it came in almost what the forecast was. So I mean, there's your position, right? Look at that. So it popped back. It did grab that zone. So at this point, and like I said, holding the 1 to 3 on this one, I may have been a little bit leery to hold the 1 to 3 just because you had all this in here. So I think that actually that spike probably would not have been bad. Yeah, there's your 2.5 right there. Yeah, this one may have been, like I said, I would have been very cautious with this, right? Because yeah, this selling in here, from this zone, you had this selling right there, this selling right there. And again, if you continue it across, that's exactly what it ran into. So that was a decent profit target, had you taken that spike. Again, I wish it would have been a little bit cleaner on the bottom side, but yeah, it would have been nice. And that would have taken that to a, yeah, 1 to 2.3. It just, unfortunately, this basing here, that's exactly where it should have rolled for it. So yeah, there's not much to say on it. So maybe you're still in. I don't know. If you're in, you can always shut it down early. Like I said, you're still from that level, you're still getting 25 cents out of it. Nice run though. I mean, what? It was 1950. Yeah, it was a 70 cent it's 70 cent bounce, right? 70 cent bounce on that one. And we just talked about 70 cents. Interesting, funny enough that it was 70 cents and that's what its bounce was from that level. So, yeah, hopefully you guys were able to grab that one. Um all right, so let's go ahead and do the drawing for today, right? We'll provide a little bit of fun there for us. And again, I wish it was cleaner, but yeah, I mean it was the same base level in there. All right, there's 7 of you in. Neuro won last time, right? We got 244. Looks like Debbie and Ernest are kind of trying to stand up to the bully, right, Mr. Bully? I got Eki in there. Sean's in there. Sean, good seeing you back. You took a couple days off. We were pointing it out. We're like, where the heck is Sean? Where the heck is Sean? All right, Briggs is not here today either. So, all right. There's Debbie. Again, Carol was doing so well. The message, Carol. All right, winner's today's drawing is Sean. I did it again. I talked about Sean and Sean won at the last minute. Google, stop listening to my conversations. So messed up. I don't know why it does that, but it's amazing. I keep mentioning people like that, and then bam, it comes out. Like I didn't say Ernest's name today, right? I talked about him earlier, right? But I didn't say Ernest when we were talking about having things in. And look at that, Sean wins. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it works. Give Sean his 50. I'm telling you, you could say that it's rigged. Congrats, Sean. Glad I not know that 75-year-old. Yeah, I mean he's 75. He can't hear, and now he's telling us about his you know, grand theft gas cooking stove, right? Grand theft cooking stove. So, all right. With that said, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks for coming in today. Like I said, I think tomorrow morning, definitely watch for some movement. Not that any of these things, again, if the Bank of Japan intervenes, obviously that will be massive movement. You can't really prepare for that. But the ECB, again, I don't expect them to surprise hike. Absolutely not. But I think the language they use to tell us what they're going to do in July is the same as raising. So again, see what the market does. It's a 7:45 release, so you can bet your best dollar that somebody has that data out there tomorrow, and it will be market ahead of time. So just keep an eye on it, watch for it, and we'll see how it rolls. So that said, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you then. Take care.